Hello, Sheila.
Hello, Paul.
Thanks for taking. Man, it's really busy around here. I'm surprised that you can even have time to do this, but thanks for meeting with.
I need my coffee.
With me and your agents. Well, this should really be called "Delicious Lattes Made by Paul with Sheila" today.
Yes, they should, and they're very good.
So we get to start with some great news. The Mortgage Debt Relief Act did get extended to the end of 2014.
Yes, it did not fall over the cliff. So the homeowners, sellers, they're doing short sales. If they fall under that Mortgage Debt Relief Act bill, they are protected from having to pay taxes on that deficiency, which is outstanding. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one good thing they did.
I'm sure it had something to do with me screaming at Perlmutter personally.
Yes, you were the determining factor on that.
It echoed from Jefferson County all the way to D.C. And
yes, it did.
Look what happened. All right. Hey, so let's talk about something I found that was interesting. That Fannie Mae has had some really questionable valuation procedures on their short sales, to the point where it's nationwide, so it's not globally located, or not globally located, but it's not
geographically located
in locations, certain locations, to the point where NAR and some other agents have gotten the Justice Department involved to open communications with Fannie Mae.
Yes.
And I just wanted to know what your experience is. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay.
That is true. As a matter of fact, I just had one last week where the homeowner has decided to take it off the market and rent it. We've tried the short sale twice, and Fannie Mae just continues to come back with this fictitious value that they believe that this property is worth. For example, they believe, and God only knows where they're getting this information, because it's not from the agent or the appraiser that's doing the valuation. We don't have that number, you know, like agents and appraisers. They're not supposed to, you know, divulge that information, but they let us know that it's in line, that our offer's in line.
Sure.
And typically when it's in line, it's an accepted short sale. However, this property value is running anywhere from 180 to 185 due to condition, because you can pick up a property that has all updated stuff in there, no repairs needed, for, you know, 190, 195.
So that's still a huge discrepancy.
Still a huge. So they think that this property is worth 235, and the comps and the condition of this property says it's going to pull a price around 185, 180. Now, why Fannie Mae's doing this? Don't know. You know, I can speculate why they're doing it. I know that you've heard on your chats, your networks, that Fannie Mae has stated that they're prepared to foreclose on thousands of properties in 2013.
Yes, I have heard.
So I don't know if they want to turn from, you know, investor of loans to being a real estate investor and have all of, you know, this inventory. I don't know. But another speculation on why they're doing it is they're trying to increase the market, you know, bring those values up, which is hard to do. You know, a comp, I mean, the market is the market.
Right.
So you can't, just because you feel that this property is worth 235, but the comps are reflecting it's worth 180. The problem with that is, you know, you can play cards with Fannie Mae. You can play cards with Bank of America. If they come in with an unrealistic number, and you know it's not going to appraise at that, and so you say, all right, okay, we'll go to the 235, do the amend extend, get the pre-approval or the proof of funds, whatever you need, and go ahead and submit it just to continue playing this game. And then once you get that approval letter from your servicer, now the buyer can begin his work out her loan origination.
Right.
And when the buyer's lender has their appraisal done and that property does not appraise for 235, now you can take black and white hard documentation back to the investor You send them a copy of that appraisal, you give them a amend extend, reducing that purchase price to that appraised value, and a revised HUD-1. And you submit it over to them, and you say, this property did not appraise. We need you to amend your approval letter to the appraised value. And that typically takes about 2 weeks for it to get processed, reviewed, and approved. I've done that several times. Not one of those have been denied. They have ultimately revised that approval letter to that appraised value.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a way you can, you can play poker with Fannie Mae, as long as that appraisal comes in where you really do believe it's going to come in at that 185, 180. If that appraisal comes in at the 235, buyer needs to move forward.
Okay.
So you need to, it's kind of it's a double-edged sword there.
Gotcha.
So you need to be careful with that. Now, there is a website that you can escalate your short sale file with Fannie Mae directly and go around the servicer,
Okay.
because you're fighting with Bank of America or you're fighting with Nation Star.
Sure.
The servicer does not have control of Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae is their client.
Right.
They've got to do what Fannie Mae tells them to do. Fannie Mae gets 2 valuations. They typically get a BPO and an appraisal. But then they get an internal valuation done by an appraiser that sits at Fannie Mae. And he probably goes on Google Maps or he goes on Zillow
Sure.
and pulls comps,
Sure.
which is not, it's not a true number.
Right. Right.
They've got the true numbers. Why are you wasting money on these valuations if you truly are not going to use them
For anything.
for anything?
Yeah.
Because you're going to come up or pull a number from the sky.
Right.
So I would recommend that if agents are running into this, that they need to be very specific in their scenario, their situation, because you want to take it to NAR, you want to take it to your local board, so you guys can, build up an argument to Fannie Mae as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the more noise we make with this situation, because it's not good, it's not right.
Right.
They are not the ones that are determining what the market is, and what this property is worth. That's the buyers out there and what they're willing to purchase the property for. So the website that you want to go to is www.homepathforshortsales.com, and you should be able to go right in there, and
It's on the first page.
it's on the first page, and the agents, how a real estate professional can escalate a short sale is what you're looking for. So click on that so you can, I don't know how responsive Fannie Mae's going to be on that, but hopefully they get enough complaints that Fannie Mae backs down, because they are not the controller of the real estate market.
No.
And
no.
what these properties are going to sell for.
I did hear something, or I did learn something very interesting about Fannie Mae. That on that, that website, the Fannie Mae lookup to see if your property is a Fannie Mae loan, they only have 87% of their total.
I did not know that. Very interesting.
In that system, and some of those are reverse mortgages. Stuff that we're not going to typically see in traditional real estate.
So they're not. There's 13%.
So it's possible that even though it doesn't say it on the Fannie Mae lookup,
it could still be
and you
a Fannie
can't
Mae
find
backed
out
loan.
through the servicer like Bank of America and Nation Star. They will not tell you who the investor is, even though it's public information on some of these websites.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't give you the information, you might still want to contact Fannie Mae because it may be on their books anyway.
There you go. Or have the homeowner call in, because the lender or servicer cannot refuse to tell them who the investor is.
That's right. Yeah.
And if they do refuse, I would have your homeowner file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission. That information should be available to the homeowner, since they are the debtor on that loan. So that's all I got to share with you today.
One last thing.
What?
I was looking at the numbers from 2012. Kudos to Sheila and her team. They closed, was it 202 or 203?
203 short sales.
203 short sales for the year of 2012.
Yeah, it was an outstanding year.
That's why, you're the marquee company to do short sale
And
transactions with.
rolling out like gangbusters in January, let me tell
Good
you.
for you. All your hard work is really
Yeah.
paying off. And,
Well,
you know, your agents and myself really appreciate you taking time out of your day.
hey, thank you, Paul. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.